Days of Our Lives Spoiler 28th through May 2nd promise an exciting and emotional roller coaster ride filled with love, secrets, jealousy, and dramatic revelations in Salem. Fans should brace themselves as relationships are tested, secret confessions are unveiled, and new romantic possibilities bloom. First, let's start with Xander Kyriakis and Sarah Horton Kyriakis, whose marital bliss appears poised for significant turbulence. As they eagerly prepare for a much-anticipated belated honeymoon trip, the seemingly romantic journey might become the stage for unexpected disaster. While Sarah is excited about finally having quality time with her husband, Xander is secretly preparing what he hopes will be a memorable gift for his beloved wife. But what Xander sees as a romantic gesture could unintentionally become the catalyst for heartache. Sarah, burdened with guilt over her role in hiding Philip Kyriakis' fake letter, might find the joyous occasion too overwhelming, leading to a tearful and potentially devastating confession. This revelation threatens to shake the very foundations of their marriage, setting the stage for emotional upheaval in the lives of Salem's beloved couple. Meanwhile, Tate Black is set to turn heads and hearts in Salem with an offer too tempting to ignore. His youthful charm and newfound confidence will undoubtedly cause ripples, particularly among his peers. Tate, navigating the tricky landscape of young love and relationships, finds himself embroiled in a series of intriguing events that could shape his future profoundly. Whether this offer involves romance, friendship, or something else entirely remains a tantalizing mystery that viewers will eagerly await. Elsewhere, a complicated romantic entanglement continues to brew between Alex Kyriakis, Gabby Hernandez, and JJ Devereaux. Alex, who finds himself committed wholeheartedly to Stephanie Johnson, ends up in an awkward position after losing a charity bachelorette auction to Gabby. Although Gabby knows Alex's heart belongs to another, she sees an irresistible opportunity to reignite JJ's jealousy by using Alex as leverage. The situation quickly escalates into a playful yet perilous game of emotional chess where one misstep could lead to hurt feelings and damaged relationships. In more uplifting news, the Brady family experiences a joyous moment as Sean Brady receives incredible news about his father, Beau Brady, waking up from a coma. The miracle leaves Sean thrilled and optimistic about the future, eagerly anticipating the reunion of his beloved parents, Beau and Hope Brady. This newfound happiness serves as a heartwarming reminder of the resilience and enduring bonds of family in Salem, offering a hopeful beacon amidst ongoing drama. On the other hand, Belle Black finds herself standing at a crossroads, facing an intensely risky emotional decision. She confirms her love for EJ DiMera, igniting questions about the feasibility of their future together. EJ's history of manipulative behavior and questionable decisions casts doubt on the stability of their relationship, leaving Belle to grapple with fear, love, and uncertainty. EJ, determined to prove his devotion, promises to change his cunning ways and build a trustworthy foundation for their love. Yet, lurking in the shadows remains the unsolved mystery of EJ's shooter, an unsettling secret that could erupt at any moment, further complicating their relationship. In another corner of Salem, Jada Hunter is stepping into a new chapter of her life following her emotional breakup with Rafe Hernandez. Both Jada and Rafe, still processing their separation, make bold predictions about their futures, determined to find new paths forward. Speculation intensifies that Jada may soon explore a romantic connection with Sean Brady, whose friendship and support could blossom into something deeper. The chemistry and unspoken attraction between Jada and Sean set the stage for a budding romance, offering viewers a fresh and exciting relationship to root for. A Night of Dreams Shattered, the full, heartrending story of Sophia Choi's prom night tragedy. There are evenings in Salem that live on in whispered conversations and tear-stained memories, nights when a single, shuddering moment divides life into a clear before and an unrecognizable after. The senior prom of Salem High was meant to be one of those joyous landmarks, a glittering celebration where teenagers step ever so gently across the threshold into young adulthood. Instead, what unfolded was a calamity so raw, so unexpected that it left an entire town gasping for breath. At the very center of this unfolding sorrow is Sophia Choi, portrayed with disarming sincerity by Rachel Boyd. 16-year-old Sophia has long been one of Salem's most quietly compelling figures, bright, polite, and unfailingly considerate, yet burdened by more than her share of hardship. Viewers have seen her navigate broken friendships, chaotic family dynamics, and the dizzying responsibility of expectant motherhood. Now 6 months pregnant, she has trudged through each day carrying hope in one pocket and fear in the other, praying she can hold them both without dropping either. A fragile spark of normalcy for most teens, prom planning involves nothing more earth-shaking than choosing the right color of boutonniere or deciding whether to rent a limo. For Sophia, it was a decision weighted with existential questions. Am I allowed even a single carefree evening? Can I dance and laugh with abandon while a tiny life depends on me? Into this swirl of doubt stepped Tate Black, played with gentle charisma by Leo Howard. Tate has watched Sophia from afar, seen the faint shadows beneath her eyes, observed how she unconsciously shields her belly whenever someone jostles too close. He recognizes, with a mix of admiration and sorrow, that she is fighting a battle no teenager should have to wage. His invitation to prom is therefore more than a date request. It is an earnest offer of respite, an outstretched hand saying, "Come breathe for one night. Let the lights and the music carry you." Sophia's initial hesitation is painful to watch. She runs her fingers over her burgeoning stomach, listens to the echo of her own rapid heartbeat, and nearly declines. But longing wins. Longing for one evening without hushed gossip, without doctor's appointments, without the relentless calculation of risks. When she finally whispers yes, it is a sound equal parts courage and desperate hope. Preparations begin in earnest. Her mother, aching to give her daughter the fairy tale every parent dreams of, rummages in a cedar chest for a pale lavender gown, once worn by Sophia's late aunt. Seamstresses let out seams and tuck in darts with practiced hands. A neighbor volunteers vintage pearl earrings, something borrowed, steeped in family blessing. For the first time in months, Sophia's laughter rings pure and unrestrained as she spins before her bedroom mirror, the dress fanning out like a promise. Shadows beneath the sparkle, yet even in this flurry of ribbon and lace, foreboding clouds gather. Days before the dance, a poignant scene plays out in the Choi living room. Adoption papers lie on the coffee table, legal language spelling out a future in which Sophia voluntarily relinquishes her child. Pen poised, she hesitates. Then the baby kicks. The sensation is small yet seismic, a sudden flutter that steals her breath. Astonishment floods her features, followed by something more complex. Fear laced with an almost fierce protectiveness. Here, longtime viewers lean forward in alarm. At 6 months, a baby's first movements should be old news. Most mothers feel flutters many weeks earlier. The delayed kick signals possible trouble. Yet doctors have brushed aside Sophia's earlier concerns, citing stress and irregular growth patterns. Her mother's attempts to reschedule another ultrasound were postponed when the obstetrician's office suffered storm damage. Life's smallest misalignments sometimes steer us toward tragedy, and Salem's residents will soon learn how cruelly those misalignments can compound. Sophia, ever the dutiful patient, swallows her anxieties. She signs half the page, then sets the pen aside, murmuring that she needs just a little more time. Her mother, wanting to honor any spark of maternal instinct, nods through misted eyes. The papers remain on the table, signature incomplete, a silent testament to decisions deferred by instinct or fate or both. Prom night, a tapestry of joy and jitters. April's last Saturday arrives, mild and fragrant with lilac. The school gymnasium has been transformed into a shimmering dreamscape, gossamer drapes in soft gold, hundreds of twinkling fairy lights, and a dance floor that glows under rotating pastel spotlights. Sophia and Tate step through the entrance arch to a chorus of delighted squeals. Their classmates see only the surface, the sapphire satin of Tate's tie matched perfectly to Sophia's lavender gown, the shy way his fingers thread through hers. But Sophia feels every whispered speculation. She tries to tune it out, focusing instead on the joyful notes of a string quartet warming up in the corner. When Tate leads her through their first dance, she closes her eyes and lets the music steady her heart. For the length of Moonlight Serenade, she is not a cautionary tale or a tabloid headline, she is simply a girl at prom. Then calamity unfurls with ruthless speed. The collision, it happens near the buffet table where laughter is loudest and space is tight. A football player, horse-playing with friends, is shoved from behind. He stumbles sideways straight into Sophia. The impact is jarring, a sharp elbow glancing off her abdomen. Time fractures. Sophia inhales but cannot exhale. Pain radiates from her belly, white-hot and unforgiving. 1 second she is upright, the next she is on her knees, dress billowing, hands flying to cradle her stomach. Gasps ricochet across the room. The DJ cuts the music mid-beat. Tate drops beside her, frantic. Sophia, talk to me. What hurts? Where? But her voice is stranded behind clenched teeth. A crimson bloom appears on the lavender satin, small at first, then mercilessly spreading. Panic detonates. Teachers summon paramedics. Students freeze, some crying, others backing away as if distance could mute the horror. Tate presses his blazer against her gown, desperate to stem the bleeding he doesn't fully comprehend. In the swirl of confusion, someone finally grasps the microphone and orders everyone to clear a path. Only minutes have passed, but for Sophia, eternity has opened its jaws. A race against biology, the ambulance ride is a blur of wailing sirens and clipped medical jargon. Paramedics monitor vitals that tumble in frightening directions. Pulse racing, blood pressure plummeting. Sophia clenches Tate's hand until her knuckles bleach white. Between ragged breaths she whispers, "Not yet. Please, not yet." He promises her everything and nothing, tears streaking down his cheeks. At Salem General, a neonatal trauma team is placed on emergency standby. The attending obstetrician, Dr. Felicia Harriman, reviews Sophia's chart on the run. When she notes the prior concerns of delayed fetal movement and the missing ultrasound, her expression darkens. Had the placental insufficiency gone undetected? Was there an underlying compromise all along? Malpractice lawsuits will eventually hinge on these very questions, but tonight is about survival, not blame. In the operating room, bright surgical lights reveal a terrifying truth. Sophia is already in full premature labor. Ruptured membranes, placental abruption, and unstoppable contractions leave the team with one bleak option: deliver immediately and hope for a miracle. For a fetus only 24 weeks along, even state-of-the-art incubators are often no match for frail, underdeveloped lungs. The unbearable goodbye outside the double doors. Tate, Sophia's mother, and a small circle of friends form a huddle of prayer and disbelief. An hour crawls by, a nurse emerges and beckons Sophia's mother into a private room. Tate insists on following. He grips the back of a plastic chair while Dr. Harriman delivers the verdict in a voice painstakingly even. The baby survived barely 5 minutes after birth. A sound escapes Sophia's mother, half scream, half sob, and she folds forward as if struck. Tate slides down the wall until he is sitting on the linoleum, dry heaves jolting his torso. He cannot reconcile the image of Sophia's delighted smile under fairy lights with the stark reality unfolding only yards away. Ripples through Salem. Word travels fast in a town where every triumph and tragedy becomes communal property. By dawn, porch lights glow across Salem as neighbors gather in kitchens, phone lines crackle with tearful updates, and church leaders open their sanctuaries for impromptu vigils. Even residents with no direct connection to Sophia feel pierced by her loss. She is every community's child, her heartbreak a mirror to collective fears about how swiftly innocence can be lost. In the days that follow, Days of Our Lives, writers craft scenes of astonishing emotional candor. Sophia's hospital room, drapes drawn, monitors silent, she lies pale and motionless. When a nurse offers to bring the baby bundled in a tiny crocheted blanket, Sophia nods once. She counts each miniature finger, whispers a lullaby she never finished writing, and finally permits a single tear to slide down her cheek. Tate's confession. He visits the school counselor, racked with guilt for forcing Sophia into going. If I hadn't asked, she wouldn't have been there, she wouldn't have been bumped. The counselor counters gently that blame can't heal grief, yet Tate's self-recrimination becomes a storyline exploring adolescent accountability and mental health stigma. Community fallout. Parents form a task force to improve school dance safety. Physicians at Salem General audit prenatal care protocols. Dr. Harriman, courageous yet tormented, requests a board review of her earlier decisions, an unusual act of transparency that sparks debate about medical error versus tragic inevitability. Sophia's road to tomorrow. In the weeks ahead, Sophia's recovery is depicted with unflinching realism. Viewers watch her navigate physical healing, stitches, postpartum cramps, hormonal upheaval. She learns to stand without wobbling, to walk down a corridor under bright hospital fluorescents that feel cruelly upbeat. Psychological torment. Flashbacks of the collision sees her during physical therapy sessions. A well-meaning classmate's offhand remark about prom memories triggers a panic attack. Writers allow space for therapy sequences in which Sophia confronts survivors' guilt and the unbearable what-ifs. Strain on relationships. Tate oscillates between hovering protectiveness and retreating shame. Sometimes Sophia's grief is so colossal that even his steadfast presence seems to echo with her baby's absence. Friends, unsure how to help, drift away or blurt platitudes that wound more than they soothe. Yet amid desolation, flickers of resilience appear. When Sophia's mother opens a cardboard box of memories, a hospital bracelet, a footprint card, a lock of downy hair, she expects her daughter to shatter. Instead, Sophia presses a kiss to the bracelet and whispers, "I want to plant a tree." It becomes a town-wide ceremony. Neighbors donate seedlings, classmates craft handwritten notes, and Tate reads a poem about saplings bending in the storm yet rooting deeper. The simple act does not erase loss, but it sketches the first fragile outline of hope. Why this story matters: Salem has endured kidnappings, explosions, villainous schemes that defy logic. But tragedies grounded in human fragility invariably strike the deepest chord. Sophia's miscarriage is more than a plot twist. It is an invitation for viewers, especially older audiences who have lived through their own sorrows, to remember that grief, though isolating, can carve pathways to empathy and communal strength. For seniors watching from living rooms across the country, the storyline resonates on multiple levels. Maternal devotion. Many remember carrying their own children, recalling every flutter and kick. Sophia's delayed quickening becomes an unsettling reminder of how doctors once dismissed women's concerns. Intergenerational support. Grandparents often feel sidelined in modern storylines. Yet this arc showcases how elders rally. Baking casseroles, offering gentle advice, reminding the young that unspeakable loss can, in time, make room for new purpose. Health advocacy. The subplot of missed warning signs encourages viewers to champion thorough prenatal care for daughters and granddaughters, reinforcing the message that no concern is too small to pursue. Looking forward. Unwritten chapters. Where will Sophia's path lead? Days of Our Lives writers hint at future encounters with other bereaved parents, an exploration of advocacy work for neonatal research, and a renewed focus on mental health resources for teens. Tate's journey may involve public speaking on accident prevention at school events, transforming his guilt into guardianship of his peers' safety. One thing is certain: Salem will never be the same. In living rooms nationwide, tissues will be clutched, hearts will ache, and conversations will unfold about how swiftly life can pivot and how communities must rise together when it does. Sophia Choi's tragedy will not be a footnote, it will be a defining chapter in the canon of stories that remind us why we watch this show in the first place, to see our own triumphs and heartbreaks reflected, refracted, and ultimately redeemed through shared humanity. A closing reflection. In recounting Sophia's devastating prom night loss, we are reminded that life's most profound lessons often arrive wrapped in sorrow. Youthful innocence can be shattered in a single heartbeat, yet the pieces can be gathered slowly, tenderly, and fashioned into something that, while forever changed, still holds beauty and purpose. For viewers aged 65 and beyond who have weathered decades of joys and losses, Sophia's story is a poignant echo of truths they already know. Grief tests the soul but can also widen it. Love does not vanish with death. And communities thrive when their members carry one another through the darkest valleys. As Salem rallies around a shattered young mother, so too can each of us reach across our living room armchairs, offering compassion to the real-life Sophias whose stories may never appear on television but who walk among us every day. Through this heartbreaking arc, Days of Our Lives honors the resilience of the human spirit, illustrating, yet again, that even in the deepest night, dawn waits patiently just beyond the horizon. As Salem's residents navigate the complex web of emotions, relationships, and personal dilemmas, the upcoming episodes promise to captivate viewers with their engaging storylines. The week of April 28th through May 2nd will undoubtedly deliver heart-pounding drama, touching emotional revelations, and unexpected romantic sparks. With love tested, secrets exposed, and new beginnings taking shape, Days of Our Lives remains a must-watch, promising unforgettable twists and turns that will keep fans on the edge of their seats.